You're on the Bible Forum. I'm Warren Sprouse. This is Sunday night, 8 to 10 Eastern Time. We're here live. You can join the chat room. I want to talk to you about Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito. Apparently, he delivered an unusually blunt warning about the future of religious liberty and free speech in these United States, saying both were in danger if the justices don't step in and protect them. His comments came during a speech in a virtual gathering of the Federalist Society, a group of conservatives and libertarians dedicating themselves to reforming the legal system. Justice Alito was nominated by President George W. Bush and has been known as a staunch supporter of religious liberty and free speech. And his comments left little doubt as to how he will lean in future cases involving those two issues. He says, "It pains me to say this, but in certain quarters, religious liberty is fast becoming a disfavored right. The pandemic, it has resulted in previously unimaginable restrictions on individual liberty." Even though Alito said he was not diminishing the severity of the virus and its threat to public health. He used frank language in discussing several high-profile cases, including one involving the Little Sisters of the Poor, a Roman Catholic order of nuns who run homes for the elderly poor. The Obama administration tried forcing the Little Sisters to carry health insurance coverage that included contraceptives and abortifacients, things, drugs and stuff you take if you want to abort a child. Kill one. He said the Little Sisters are women who have dedicated their lives to caring for the elderly, regardless of religion. They run homes that have won high praise. However, despite this inspiring work, the Little Sisters have been under relenting attack for the better part of a decade. If they did not knuckle under and violate the tenet of their faith, they face crippling fines that would likely have forced them to shut down their homes. He went on to say the current administration tried to prevent that by adopting a new rule. But the states of Pennsylvania and New Jersey, supported by 17 other states, challenged that new rule. Last spring, the Little Sisters won their most recent battle in the Supreme Court. He says, I should add, by a vote of 7-2, overwhelming majority. But the case was sent back to the Court of Appeals, and the Little Sisters' legal fight goes on and on and on. Alito mentioned other cases too, including the high-profile case of Jack Phillips, a cake artist and Christian, who was told by the state of Colorado he must design a cake for a same-sex wedding or risk violating the law. Alito lamented the comments by a member of the Colorado Human Rights Commission who criticized Phillips. She said that freedom of religion had been used to justify all kinds of discrimination throughout history, whether it be slavery, whether it be the Holocaust. Alito said, for many today, religious liberty is not a cherished freedom. Often, he said, cases arise when no one has been legally harmed. He said, as far as I'm aware, not one employee of the Little Sisters has come forward and demanded contraceptives onto Little Sisters' insurance plan. Philip's stance, he said, did not deprive any same-sex couple of a wedding cake, just from him. Alito also criticized the Supreme Court for its refusal to protect churches and other houses of worship during the pandemic. He mentioned a Nevada case in which a church unsuccessfully tried to overturn the state's restrictions. At the time of the case, Nevada's governor allowed casinos to operate at 50% capacity. But churches, they were limited to only 50 individuals. The Supreme Court declined to get involved. The size of the building, he says, doesn't matter, nor does it matter if you wear a mask or keep more than 6 feet away from everybody else. And it doesn't matter if the building is carefully sanitized before and after a service. The state's message is the same. Forget about worship, head for the slot machines. or maybe the Cirque du Soleil show. The Constitution's free exercise clause, he said, protects religious liberty. You will not find a craps clause or a blackjack clause or a slot machine clause, he said. And he said it sarcastically. But the court nevertheless deferred to the governor's judgment, which just so happens to favor the state's biggest industry and the many voters who employ it. Religious liberty, he warned, is in danger of becoming a second-class right. And the question we face is whether our society will be inclusive enough to tolerate people with unpopular religious beliefs.